Marijuana is one of the nation's fastest growing industries, and now it's becoming a new battleground for emerging technology. CNET recently reported on how the marijuana industry will be facing both challenges and opportunities as technology becomes a bigger part of the weed business. To talk about this, we're joined by the executive editor for CNET News, Roger Cheng. Welcome, Roger. Thanks for being here. CNET recently went to a marijuana summit that focuses on the tech angle of the business. What were some of the products on display there?
Yeah, well, I think one of the most interesting ones is this container that doubles as a smart scale. It links to an app, basically monitors how much marijuana you're consuming. We saw a bunch of different examples. I think one of the more interesting ones, the robotic harvesting using robot arms. We're definitely a long way off from those underground grow rooms as marijuana production has really hit mainstream.
It's so fascinating. Now, we understand that genetic testing and big data is also now being considered in the growing process. What's being done on this front?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot more experimentation with genetics, as you said, big data. Basically, data telling you what kind of plant to grow, what strains work best, what sell best. This is really a great test bed for a lot of these things because it doesn't really require FDA approval, which is a lot more rigorous. This is really on a state level, so it's a lot more easier to get things done.
So does all of this represent sort of the evolution of the marijuana business into something that's no longer fringe? I mean, is this now a mainstream business proposition?
Well, this is a market that's expected to grow to $32 billion over the next 5 years. So this is definitely a big business. And you're seeing companies push to make this more of a mainstream product. There are still going to be those fringe growers who create custom strains, but I think big weed is coming in and they're using technology to make a big impact here. When
you say fringe growers, that there's those smaller sort of boutique growers that talk about the acidity of the soil and the rest of it. Do you see a branch of marijuana growing becoming sort of like wine, where there's different varieties and it's very it could become an elitist product on some level?
Absolutely, I think that's a great point. In fact, there was one person at the conference who's trying to get initiative to get certification of certain strains, kind of like how Bordeaux and Champagne are certified from those regions in France, getting certified regions or certified strains of marijuana from specific growers.
That'll certainly take it out of the Cheech and Chong era for sure. Roger Cheng at CNET, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.